Okay, building up to the second major encounter for India in this T20 World Cup 2022. If you thought Pakistan was a roller coaster match filled with drama, tragedy, emotions, then India versus South Africa is a classic big game. Yes?
And this is going to be not just any big game, this could potentially be the game that decides who gets to finish on top of the group.
Top of the group, everything seems to be really problematic because look, at the end of the day, this group now has once again been thrown wide open for two reasons. One, that 1 point that Zimbabwe and South Africa split is making a difference. Now Bangladesh winning today has put immense pressure on South Africa.
Correct.
Because a loss for South Africa will mean that they can only at best get to 7. And one of the games that South Africa plays after the India match is against Pakistan.
Correct.
That Pakistan game, if India beats South Africa today, that Pakistan match is a quarterfinal.
Correct.
And Pakistan are on course to improve their net run rate as well because they have dismissed the Netherlands. I mean, restricted them to 91 for 9.
In their 20 overs.
And they are already 37 for 1 in the 6th over. Babar Azam
has been having a very rough time.
Very rough time, woeful at the end of the day. And there are problems. Problems for Pakistan, even if they manage to make it through the back door. Their progress in this T20 World Cup will depend on a lot of things. If you all think 92 is going to repeat again for Pakistan, think again. They are batting. If Rizwan is there, Babar fails, then it still puts pressure on them. And remember, today, Fakhar Zaman has come in place of Haider Ali.
Correct.
So they have potentially 2 right-handers and 2 left-handers at the top and middle. And we will also bring you live updates along with our inputs here. We will also be going live to Perth, Ground Zero at the Optus Stadium, where Nikhil will be giving all the updates from there. We'll also be joined by our experts, Pragya Noja, Sunil Gavaskar, and hopefully Harbhajan Singh.
So there's plenty of, interesting analysis coming your way from this match, not just from us, but it's very varied. So keep an eye out. We're going to be joined live very soon. Should be some interesting, exciting coverage from
Absolutely.
Ground Zero.
That is Ground Zero. I would have said Ground Zero from the Waka. That would have been. And we are
going to be tossing.
And here we are. Nikhil has joined us live from Perth.
Atmosphere is right. Just check this out. So it feels like a party, and it is a party. Okay, can I ask you a question? Is this energy only for now, or will it continue with that?
It will definitely continue inside.
It is. 100%. Will it continue all night? For the next 6 hours?
Energy will continue until the World Cup India wins.
He's saying not just till the match, but till the time India wins, this energy is going to be.
Every 4s, every 6s, every weekend, we're going to cheer for India only. Every player, every bowler.
What are you expecting to see?
Of course, India winning!
Is your favorite?
Kohli!
Talking about Kohli, check this out. Bring it down. It says, keep calm and trust in Kohli. Thank you so much, guys. Thank you. Come, give us the jig here. What are you expecting to see?
Obviously, Kohli.
No other Indian batsman excites you?
Surya Kumar Yadav. There are lots to see. Rohit Sharma, Surya Kumar Yadav, Hardik Pandya, and obviously Bhuvnesh Kumar and Arshdeep Singh. Cheer for Arshdeep Singh.
Okay, thank you so much, guys. Thank you. Keep that energy going. So lots of energy here at the Optus Stadium. You thought India versus Pakistan was big, but I tell you what, India versus South Africa, a big game. Also, plenty of people going to be turning up. Let me quickly show you the Optus Stadium, which is right behind me. That's the Optus Stadium. It's a huge venue, but there is also going to be a packed house. I'm really struggling to see a few South African fans. It's a big struggle to find any South African fans. All you can see is a sea of blue. Okay, joining us live on the show, Pragya Anoja, Harbhajan Singh and Sunny Gavaskar. Sunny bhai, as the dhols here continue to play, let me ask you the mood question, the biggest question at the moment. India sitting right on top of the points table. It seems like a comfortable position, but how crucial is this game? Because one slip up, you never know, semi-finals may not be that easy.
From the confidence point of view, this is crucial because you want to win just about every game. You cannot say that South Africa is a tougher team to beat than Bangladesh or Zimbabwe. Every team in a T20 format can be tough to beat because an over or two can change. But yes, I think this is going to be a real test because South Africa has got a very, very good pace attack. South Africa is playing in Perth where there is extra help for the quicker bowlers. So this is going to be a real examination of our batsmen.
Okay, Harbhajan, same question to you. As Sunny bhai points out, it's going to be a big examination of the Indian cricket team because, yes, they played very well against Pakistan, but South Africa in these conditions can be a very, very dangerous side. How do you reckon this game is going to go and how crucial is it for the Indian team?
Most certainly, this is probably the, toughest side, in India's point of view, I would say, because India have faced Pakistan. That was a very, very high pressure kind of a game. But in terms of quality of the players, I think South African have a better quality players in their batting lineup and also in their bowling lineup when it compares to Pakistani team. Of course, this will be the real test of Indian team because they are playing in Perth and that too against Rabada, Lungi, and their fast bowling, it looks really, really good. And South Africa will be very happy and thinking that they have a best chance because they have a very, very good fast bowling on such track where it just gives a lot of bounce and pace.
Well, alongside the discussion that we're bringing you, all the analysis that we're bringing you, you can see some live visuals of all the scenes outside the Optus Stadium. We've got multiple cameras covering the excitement here, as we showed you at the start as well. There are dhols here, there are songs here, the saxophone here, everything. So it seems like a carnival-like atmosphere. Pragyan, to you, the same question I asked Sunny bhai and Harbhajan Singh. You think the Indian team would be well aware of the challenge that they face against South Africa? Because yes, you've started well. It's been a dream start. 2 matches, 2 wins. But they know that one slip up, the format of the tournament is such, one slip up and your position for the semi-final could be under doubt.
Yeah, absolutely. Both the teams know what is the magnitude of this game and where they stand, particularly in this tournament. So both the teams will not take it lightly, but when you talk about the momentum, it's with Indian team and saying that it is very important what kind of 11 these two teams have, because I strongly believe that India should have someone who can contribute with both bat and ball. And when you look at South Africa, maybe they can reduce one spinner and get the all-rounder yeah.
Sunny Gavaskar, one thing that we're seeing here, it's pretty chilly. I'm wearing a jacket. We thought that this was going to be the summers for Australia. It's not quite summery. We've got overcast conditions. Right now, it's the sun is out, but very, very cold. You think the cold conditions are going to favor the South African team? Because whatever said and done, these are the conditions that they encounter when playing back home as well.
Yes, to a great extent. Having said that, let me say that the fastest pitch that I ever played on was in Chennai in 1978. 1979, 1980, 81, Chennai pitches had a lot of bounce and carry. So yes, I think if you had played in Chennai around that time, you would have got pitches where there was the kind of bounce that you see in Perth or in Kingston, Jamaica, or Barbados. But yes, I think South Africa perhaps play a lot more on these kind of surfaces. And if this kind of weather holds, that will also help the South Africans.
All right, Harbhajan Singh, Sunny Gavaskar, we'll come back to you. But for the moment, let's take a look at how the two teams stack up ahead of this very crucial encounter. As I said, these two teams have played each other in the recent past. India hold the edge, but in these conditions, South Africa can be dangerous. Let's take a look at all the team combinations and how the two teams stack up.
Well, that was a very, very interesting update that we have got from Perth. And as you can see, it's very chilly at that time. Yes, temperatures there have been around 10 to 15 at this point in time. And remember, it's still not yet summer. You're going to get summer potentially around the 1st to the 2nd week of November.
Correct.
But Nikhil must be glad that he's not at the WACA.
Correct.
Because Optus is closed. So you have anyway lost the advantage of the Fremantle doctor. If you want to know the horrifying story of the Fremantle doctor, check out the video Ground Realities of Perth, which I have done. But Sunny Gavaskar mentioned two very interesting points today and even yesterday. Sunil Gavaskar said that the soil that is used for this particular stadium at the pitch, it is imported from the WACA.
Correct.
So that is why you're seeing excess pace and bounce at this point in time. And today he said, if you were growing up in the 80s, you would have encountered similar conditions even in India. And where of all places? Chennai.
Correct.
Well, that is one interesting nugget that Sunil Gavaskar said. Thank you, Sunil sir. I never knew that this was the case, because now I know Chennai as a slow, low turner that MS Dhoni is always utilized in. But 80s Chennai had good pace and bounce. Wow, coming from the legend itself, that's great.
A massive nugget of information that, of course, you'll be getting mostly here.
Mostly in Sports Today. And yes, if Sunil Gavaskar says it is, so it is.
Hello, Sanket Joshi. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks. Guten Tag in Germany, Sanket. And thank you, Ritikesh. And Sanket, Zimbabwe have been involved in very close matches. Absolutely.
So disappointed they didn't win today. Would have been so nice to see them get another win.
We were all saying 16-6. It was like the Nawaz
versus
and Kohli situation, and it almost was like that.
Yeah.
Who could have ever imagined Nurul Hassan going straight just in front of the stumps and collecting the ball? Rishabh Pant was guilty of that once, and he paid with it during the match against Bangladesh.
Correct.
Bangladesh today almost shot themselves in the foot by ensuring, let's take it to the last ball. Okay, this World Cup needs a lot of twists. As I had mentioned even in the live, this World... Okay, we are back. Nikhil's back in Perth.
Dance and seems like a party-like atmosphere here. And you can hear all the very famous Bollywood numbers being played here, all getting very nostalgic. Some young kids, some grown-ups. I even see a lot of veterans here. So that's, the scenes here at the Optus Stadium. Let's go over to Harbhajan Singh, who's still live with us. Bhajupa, one thing I know we're building up as a big encounter. We know in these conditions, South Africa are dangerous. They always come to a big tournament as one of the sides who are favourite to win. Here also they're considered the dark horse. But then when it comes to big tournament, there's something that goes wrong with them. What do you think is the reason that they end up choking in the big encounters?
Yeah, I think South Africa will be thinking, how to get a win under their belt, because they have lost one game against Zimbabwe where they could have got 2 points, but they got only one. But this is kind of a very important game for them, not do or die, but it's most certainly most important game, because they are playing the top quality side and they know what India can do. Their fast bowler, what they can do, their batting line, what they can do. So, I'm sure they'll also feel a bit nervous, facing India in this competition, because India is a top side. When you're playing against them, you always have to come very, very prepared. And I hope this will be a great game to watch, and hope may the best team win. But I hope that best team is India today.
Pragyan, just looking at what Harbhajan is saying and just extending that logic as well, these, big decisions that go wrong for South Africa, crucial moments where they end up not playing the right things. It's not a coincidence. It's happened so many times before that you have to clearly say it's not a coincidence. What goes wrong for them? Is it the weight of expectations? Is it the fact that they've not really done in big trophies? That comes back to haunt them. What do you think actually causes them to shoot themselves in the foot?
Yeah, I strongly believe there are two reasons why somebody doesn't cross the line when they have the potential to cross it. The first one is psychologically how it is impacting on you and your team, how you're responding to it. And the other one is the expectation and the experience that normally if you see why Australia, India and few teams, they regularly win tournaments because they have the capacity to do well in a crunch game or understand what is expected out of them in a important do or die game. So that is the reason you see all these teams that they do well. And if you look at South Africa, it has always been their mental aspect, what they think, how they prepare and how they handle the pressure. Because when you talk about their skill, they are too good. They have been performing. They are one of the top 4 or 5 teams in the world. But I strongly feel that mentally somewhere they have that block where at crunch situation they bog down to those pressure. And I tell you, any sport, it is all about how you handle the pressure.
Yes, handling the pressure. That's been one area where South Africa have found wanting. Sunny bhai, to you, and this I think is the $1 million question. Even Stevens, it seems like some things in favor of South Africa, some things in favor of India. But if I was to push you to pick one team, who do you think go in as the favorite in this encounter?
My feeling is that India just a little bit ahead, simply because of the rhythm that they've got. South Africa have played 2 matches, but one was washed out really. So they are 3 points. They've only played 1 match. They've played and batted really well. They bowled well too against Bangladesh. But India have had one really, really close encounter. Now, when you win that kind of a close match, then it gives you a lot of confidence. Then you come back a couple of days later and play very ruthless cricket and beat another slightly lesser ranked team. Then obviously your confidence is very high.
Okay, so Sunny bhai has picked India as the slight favorite. Sunny Gavaskar live with us says India's slight favorite going into this encounter. But Harbhajan, the one area of concern for India, yes, you could say they're slight favorites because they've had a winning start. But that one concern has been Indian openers, especially KL Rahul's form.
Yes, most certainly. Rohit, told everyone in the press conference itself that he wasn't at his best, but still that 50 will boost his confidence going forward. And where we're talking about KL Rahul, yes, we definitely looking for some sort of runs from his bat as well, because he's a quality player, and maybe this wicket will suit him because it has more bounce pace, where he kind of plays a little late. So on this wicket, it might help him to get those runs. And India having, Virat Kohli in form, Surya Kumar Yadav in form, but definitely, they will love to have an opening partnership stand where 6 over 45 for none, then you know that you definitely going to get runs on the board no matter what now. So it is very important our openers to start well. And despite of, Virat and Surya scoring most of the runs, I think they'll also be itching to score a few runs, KL Rahul and Rohit Sharma up front.
Okay, the operative word of what Harbhajan Singh just used was that they'd be itching to score runs. So yes, the Indian openers would be itching to score runs. Pragyan, KL Rahul, Rohit Sharma got runs the last encounter. KL Rahul, you reckon these kind of conditions, the bouncy track, some pace on the ball are sort of conditions that are ideal for someone like KL Rahul because he has the game to play on that back foot and maybe a good opportunity for him then to get back into form?
See, I wouldn't say to get back into the form. I wouldn't be doing justice because he is in form. He's not been getting runs, but if you look at the way he's timing the ball, he's been absolute spot on. And a man of his stature and with that class that he carries, I strongly believe these kind of wickets, I don't think it will be tough for him. But yes, it will be challenging. But how he manages that, if he thinks about those 2 games that he could not get runs, then I think he'll be putting undue pressure on himself. But if he goes out there saying that 18 days I was here practicing in this part of the world, I know what to expect and who are the bowlers, how are they going to go after me, and I am the best and I can deliver, then you will see a different KL Rahul. So there are 2 ways to it. One, KL Rahul who's not got runs and he'll be clustering things in his mind. The other one who has the skill, been timing the ball well and are ready, prepared already in Perth. I believe one of these 2 who comes out, we will see that guy on TV.
Okay, Sunny Gavaskar, Harbhajan Singh, Pragyan Oja, stay with us. We'll get back to you for some more analysis of the game. But we've spoken about the Indian team, looked at all the pros and cons of this men in blue. Let's take a closer look at the South African team. It's a dangerous team. But before we go to the South African team, Prime Minister Narendra Modi is in Gujarat. He's addressing the media. Let's cut across.
Well, we're back here, and as you said, we'll be getting some very varied coverage today.
Yes, it's all round. And another interesting point that everybody is addressing this elephant in the room that is called KL Rahul. Pragyan Oja, one of our experts, is like saying that he's actually not out of form. Just that he's not able to kick on. And a lot of people, even if you look at our build-up here, many of our family members, Ken is saying that I think KL will score. Everybody is expressing a bit of confidence because KL Rahul has a pretty good record against South Africa. So, in that sense, if you have to look at it, King, Sky and Pandya will do the bulk of the scoring today. Pradeep Srivalsan. Okay, Kohli, Sky and Pandya. That's what he means. King. Come on, yaar. Kohli. King Kohli. Yes, okay. Now, before Nikhil had given us all this update on Perth and whatever is the South African team, he was going to do it over the South African team. There are 2 records which we will discuss in this as part of the build-up. Which record holds really dominant? Since 2011, South Africa has never beaten India in a ICC event. 2012 T20 World Cup, lost by 1 run. 2013 Champions Trophy, lost. 2014 semi-final, lost. 2015 Melbourne ODI World Cup, lost. 2017 Champions Trophy Oval, lost. 2019 ODI World Cup, lost. But the Proteas, only 2 losses in 30 years at Perth, both in Optus and the WACA. Which record, according to you, Shane, you believe will be dominant in this build-up?
I think neither, honestly, because I think records like these, I mean, yeah, they're big records and there's a lot at stake, but I think they're going to be focused on the now. For South Africa, especially because unfortunately they ended up losing out on that 1 point. They were coasting to win against Zimbabwe, and they would have actually gotten a pretty big win, but due to the rules being the way they are, they unfortunately didn't get that. So I think they'd want to actually get this win against India, because if they get a win against India, then the remaining matches, of course Pakistan aside, are a little easier. Or even Pakistan, I think they would start favourites in that match, because Pakistan so far haven't looked convincing, and you've lost 2 big close games.
Yes.
Netherlands they're beating because, well, it's Netherlands. But even then, I think South Africa would be knowing that today this match assumes a lot more importance after that Zimbabwe thing.
Okay, Rajshekhar Balraj is like asking us, will India's opponent in semis be decided today? Manoj Aryal, thank you so much for all the love that you're showing. No, Rajshekhar. No. Today, you will not see India's opponent in the semis. You will probably see that on November 1. Because November 1, New Zealand will take on England at the Gabba. And in Group 1, you may probably see New Zealand and England go through, simply because Australia's net run rate might not give them that luxury of qualifying for the semi-finals. Because Australia's net run rate is minus 1.5. Easily the worst in the whole group, although they are 4th. Sri Lanka have only got 2 points, where the net run rate is minus 0.8.
Correct.
But England in Group 1, now it's their turn to churn the entire group.
Correct, because if they beat one of the two teams who are...
Because England's last opponent is also a tough one. It's Sri Lanka.
Exactly.
So England face a very uphill task. They have to beat New Zealand at the Gabba tomorrow on November 1. Because if they lose, they are all but out.
Correct.
Because Australia's next two encounters are against Ireland and Afghanistan. One loss for England and they are out.
Correct.
So Balraj, mostly Rajshekhar, by 1 or by 3, we will know who are India's semi-final opponents. But I have to give a small disclaimer to this. 2 games. You are now at the business end of the tournament, middle of the tournament,
Correct.
where you have to maintain peak momentum. If India loses today, God forbid India lose today, and the game against Bangladesh, where rain
There's
is
a rain
predicted
threat.
in Adelaide, 61%, if they get 1 point from that, then suddenly even India are not favourites to make it to the semi-finals. So India win against South Africa, they just need 1 more point to go through. 1 more point or 1 more win. Because see, India have a relatively easier draw. They face Bangladesh after this and Zimbabwe. South Africa face a tricky encounter against Pakistan after India. So their chances will hinge on this particular result. Both of your semi-finalists from group of New Zealand, Australia, England, Manoj Aryal is saying, on current form, I would pick New Zealand and England.
Same. I think Australia, the problem is they might get form, but their net run rate will be an issue.
If New Zealand beats England,
then yes.
game over. Game over for England because Australia will get to 7 if they beat Afghanistan.
Correct.
But for that to happen, if they lose, they have to beat Sri Lanka. They have to hope Afghanistan or Ireland beat Australia.
I think the key question which I wanted to address was Pradeep Shivalsan's. He said that look, KL Rahul in the middle right now is looking tentative. If he takes a couple of balls, he could score big. The only question is, will it come today given the SA bowling lineup? And if he doesn't do well, will he get more chances? Answer the second part of your question, he will. Because if you'd heard Vikram Rathore's press conference yesterday, he said that look, 2 games is too small a sample size to be judging him. He's hitting the ball well in the nets and we're going to stick with him. That being said, he also did say that Pant will get some chances. Could get some chances in the future.
Yep.
But I think you would stick with KL at least for the first 4 games. I think after that, especially considering the final matches against Bangladesh, the second last match, the final match of the 4 matches I meant. Yeah. So that match, if against Bangladesh he doesn't do well, and we assume he doesn't do well today, which of course 2 very big ifs there because we don't really know how things are going to play out. Then I think the chorus is going to grow a lot louder. Because the problem with KL in previous times has been not just the fact that in these times, he's not getting much run. Even previously, the thing was that he would always start tentative.
Correct.
Not something you want from your opener and not something you'd expect from KL given you know what a classy batsman he is when he's on form.
Correct.
That has been the major issue.
Anupam Das, will Pant play instead of Ashwin today? Anupam, you had asked a couple of questions earlier. Also, I'll combine all that and say, I don't think you're making any changes today. You're honestly not making any changes because look, you've already settled into a winning combination for the first 2 games. My argument is, even if KL doesn't perform, you are still playing him for the semi-final if India makes it. You're still playing him because if you chop and change, the team composition might lose momentum at that point in time.
Oh, I think, you may see Ashwin get dropped considering Perth is not dropped, let's say rotated would be the right word. But I think that will be for a pacer.
Because India already, you will play 5 pacers. Because if Harshal comes in, that's what we are thinking. If Harshal,
he's the only other pacing option.
He's the only pacing thing. You got Shami, Bhuvi, Arshdeep, Harshal, Hardik, plus Axar. 6 bowlers.
6 bowlers we always keep. But that's what I'm saying. The most logical thing for this track, considering Perth does have a little bit of, let's say, juice in it for the pacers, if you want to. But that's also a big if.
Big if.
I don't see any other change happening, and that includes no Pant for...
No Pant for KL.
No Pant for Ashwin.
Ashwin.
Pant for KL is a distinct, very far off possibility, but even that not happening today. I don't think...
My honest gut instinct is I think no changes will be made today. If they do... Perhaps it may be a misjudgment because you may not want to get too carried away by the pace and bounce in Perth for one more simple reason. You are playing the second match in that same wicket.
Yeah, could be very
You are playing Netherlands and Pakistan are played on the same deck that was there. And you saw that there was plenty of carry for Haris Raw, for Shaheen, for Naseem. But you would want Pakistan, if Pakistan's pacers could get this much, but that is their strength. I think by the time the second game happens, you will probably see that the wicket has died down. I don't see them getting that much of pace and bounce. There might be a bit of skid on the wicket with the lights on.
Yeah, then if you're getting skiddy this thing and you're bowling, say, second, someone like Harshal is very useful there.
But again, this is a very contrasting situation that you got. Harshal and Ashwin. Ashwin is supposed to be good against the left-handers, although he didn't take a single wicket in the 3-match series against South Africa.
Exactly. But like the one match he played, remember he got hammered by David Miller.
And that was that assault which started South Africa's charge in Guwahati. But Harshal is not good against left-handers. If you have to look at it, Matthew Wade, Quinton de Kock and David
all
Miller,
targeted him.
Even Riley Russo. And there was a question on Riley Russo by one of our family members.
So that he would be key cricketing? Absolutely.
Yes. 2 back-to-back centuries that he's made. The second guy after Gustave Kion of France.
The only player who India need not fear, Temba.
Yeah, that's been harsh on Temba. I mean, look, if form and luck don't go your way, nothing works for you. And that is what...
At this point, he looks very tentative at the crease. You're talking about KL. Look at Temba when he bats, his feet don't move.
Yes.
It's and if you remember during the bilateral series happening in India before the World Cup, it was more often than not cleaned up by a swinging ball.
Yes.
It's going to be the same bowlers, Arshdeep, Bhuvi, Shami now also, who can get you some seam.
Correct.
So
now, okay, I will just give you a brief thing about what has happened in Temba Bavumaa's case. Okay. We may all want to mock Temba Bavuma. We may all want to say that, why him? Didn't South Africa didn't they have any other options? But let me give you the brief history of why Temba Bavuma is in this place. You have to understand the racial situation that is prevalent in South Africa. That you cannot escape. If you are in South Africa, race forms a very, very core and sensitive part when it comes to any form of life in South Africa. Number 2, when Temba Bavuma took over the T20I captaincy, the likes of Riley Russo and several other players had gone Kolpak. Kolpak only went away because Brexit happened. But we are not sure at that time whether Brexit was going to happen in such a comprehensive manner.
In fact, not just that, at that point, even if you were assuming, you didn't know, and as things stood at that point, you didn't have many players. You didn't have Dwayne Oliver, you didn't have Riley Russo. A lot of players went Kolpak. It was in fact the fashionable thing to do because South African cricket didn't really give you much in terms of money.
Yes, that's the unfortunate truth. Cricket South Africa's central contract did not give you that much of stability as compared to a Kolpak contract of 4 years.
In fact, Kolpak contracts were paying them crazy amounts of money because the counties knew. Remember, England and Australia and India are 3 places where the domestic system is flush with cash. So in that sense, they offered them a lot more security and in some cases, potentially a chance to play for England also in the future. Where if you did get a central contract, you'd actually be far better.
And there was a very interesting story which I had read that Quinton de Kock fell out of favour for the captaincy in white ball cricket for the simple reason that he did not take the knee in the BLM protest.
Correct.
He chose not to because it was a personal position.
Yeah, but then even remember, even before that, he had quit the captaincy anyway.
Yes.
So it was always going to be a tough ask to bring him back to the captaincy because honestly, I think Quinton is one of those players who's better being your star player than your captain. As a captain, I found at times the pressure got to him.
Yes. And remember, even David Miller's form had struggled in the last couple of seasons.
David Miller had been struggling for a lot more than a couple of seasons. Remember, in the IPL, it had become a running joke that he couldn't play spin.
But now he's improved his time with the Gujarat Titans, has really rejuvenated him, and that is why you see Killer Miller version 2.0. I mean, he is
very deadly, this man.
Killer Deadly Miller. So, Temba Bavuma took over the captaincy thorn, I will say, not the throne.
Yeah, it was essentially it's a crown of thorns, nothing else.
Yeah, the crown of thorns, and that is why you see, you cannot blame Temba.
Yeah. We are switching back,
and yes, Nikhil's back from Perth.
Big game at the T20 World Cup. India's third encounter. India versus South Africa. Three experts in Harbhajan Singh, Sunny Gavaskar and Pragyan Ojha still with us. Let me just give you a quick update about the atmosphere. It feels like a carnival-like atmosphere. It is pretty cold. It's beginning to get a bit chilly here. That's why my jacket is out as the sun is setting. Cool breeze is blowing across the city of Perth, which will make the conditions very interesting going forward. We'll have to wait and watch whether these conditions are going to be helping the South African team or not. We'll get to analysis by Sunny Gavaskar, Harbhajan Singh, Pragyan Ojha. But before that, we saw all the pros and cons of the Indian team. What is it that they need to do? But let's quickly take a closer look at the South African team as well. Why are they being considered as the dark horse?
Well, now Nikhil has given us a brief update that the weather is starting to become chillier. The wind has picked up at the Optus Stadium in Perth. So Roy SP is like saying, if Jansen plays today and Parnell too, will India go with punt today to counter the lefties? Also, I feel Sikandar Azar is coming to MI in place of Allen, released.
That second thing is a hunch, so can't really comment there.
Can't
but
comment.
The second one, I don't think they'll go with punt to counter the lefties. Because again, Pant's form itself has been very hit and miss in recent times, more miss in fact.
See, you'll go with the same team, simple. Jansen plays today and Parnell too. Look, you'll go with the same team, you will back your team to do well. Now, it'll be important to see how they utilize the left arms, because if the wind is blowing cross-diagonal, like how it does at the Waka, but Optus doesn't really have that wind advantage.
Exactly.
So, it depends on the length that South Africa will bowl, and we feel that India should counter them quite easily, because look, when you've encountered Shaheen and Fred Klaassen, no disrespect to any of them, but India did play both the left-handers.
Yeah, but Shaheen's also been woefully out of form during the World Cup.
Yes.
He's looked exactly like a player who's coming back from a long-term injury layoff.
Yep. Pakistan had to rush him because of the situation.
Because of the World Cup.
Yep.
No
so
reason.
Fred Klaassen, no disrespect to him, good bowler, but unfortunately not gotten that much of opportunities for this. So Jansen and Parnell, if they play today, I don't see India making any changes.
I think Jansen, one of the key reasons they'd be playing is for that matchup against, Kohli.
Kohli, yes, he did get Kohli out for a duck in that Axar RCB game.
Even in before the IPL, if you remember, Jansen came to, what was his first claim to fame? Was that he was one of the neck bowlers during India's series against South Africa 2021.
Yes.
And he absolutely troubled Kohli a lot. That was one of his biggest claim to fames back in those days.
Yeah.
Yogesh Singh, we are in fact taking questions, but I'll
just
scroll up
slightly.
I think I'll just scroll up slightly. I think Yogesh had a question, up which we may have missed. Yeah, there. Mark my words, Bavuma 50 today, 30th October, another number 3 man. Bavuma 50 is an interesting prediction.
But what about the strike rate?
112.
That is the key, Yogesh, strike rate. If he hits a 50, great. But if he hits a 50 or 49 balls, no point. That is the worst part. So, Bavuma 50 has to come at a pretty quick rate. But maybe the extra pace and bounce at Perth could help Bavuma. Short guy.
I mean, the problem with him at this point is he needs to help himself, because he looks tentative. More often than not, he looks like he's in his head. In fact, he's playing exactly the way Kohli was when he was going through the worst of his form. So, and that's not a comparison, because I don't think you can compare.
Behind me, fluttering there, and plenty of fans wearing the tricolour will be there. At the moment, with the traditional outfit, you can see that it feels like any other city in India and not somewhere in Australia. अच्छा, ये किसका आइडिया था ये सब एकदम ट्रेडिशनल? तो ये यहाँ से आपको इजी हुआ ये सब कपड़ों का इंतजाम?
आराम से हो गया।
क्या यही एनर्जी दिखेगी क्या स्टेडियम में? अच्छा, इंडिया के लिए क्या गाना गाएंगे आप? अच्छा,
जीतेगा भाई, जीतेगा इंडिया, जीतेगा भारत माता की
अच्छा, आप लोग क्या यही पर्थ में ही रहते हैं?
हाँ, पर्थ में ही रहते हैं।
तो कब से इंतजार कर रहे थे इस मैच का?
जब से अनाउंस हुआ तब से हम लोग इंडिया का इंतजार कर रहे थे।
ये बच्चों से मैं पूछता हूँ, you play cricket?
Yes.
Who's your favorite player?
Virat Kohli.
Virat Kohli. What about you?
Bumrah.
Jasprit Bumrah.
Yes.
But he's not there. You're disappointed.
Yes.
What do you do? Batting, bowling?
I like batting.
You like batting. Who's going to be scoring the runs today, you think?
Who's going to win? India!
Any one player?
Rohit Sharma.
Rohit Sharma. Okay, Rohit Sharma is also a favorite. What about you? आप लोग किसको देखने आए हो?
Kohli. Indian team.
Puri Indian team. Okay, so mixed reaction. Thank you so much. Give me a loud cheer once again for India. Thank you so much. Enjoy the game. All the best. So you can see plenty of Indian fans, as I've been saying. It's a sea of blue here right now. Virat Kohli fans, Rohit Sharma fans, all of them have turned up wanting to enjoy this particular encounter. You heard from the locals here in Perth. They said that they've been waiting ever since the fixtures were announced. They've been waiting for this particular encounter. But it's not just local folks from Perth, as you just saw. There are people that I met who've traveled from India, traveled from different parts of Australia, traveled even from places like Canada as well as the USA. So that's the love for Indian cricket, and you get to witness that when you're at a big game like India versus South Africa. Okay, Sunny Gavaskar, Pragyan Ojha and Harbhajan Singh still with us. Sunny, bye to you. The one thing that India has done, I know these are alien conditions for the Indian team, but the one thing, what do you want to say? You want to say something for the Indian?
India जीतेगा 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 इंडिया जीतेगा 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 इंडिया जीतेगा भारत माता की भारत माता की जीतेगा इंडिया जीतेगा जीतेगा ना जीतेगा इंडिया जीतेगा भारत माता की
Okay, all the best. Save some energy for the ground as well. We love you, Virat. Okay, Virat Kohli fan. I'm not surprised. There are many. Okay, so Sai bhai, the question that I was asking you, I'm coming back to it. Getting interrupted by the number of fans that I hear. The Indian team set up a camp here. They were trying to get used to the conditions here in Perth. We heard from the batting coach in Vikram Rathore saying that this is precisely the reason why they came here, because of this big game versus South Africa. You think that's going to help the team?
Very much. Look, this is the kind of thinking, forward thinking, that is needed to keep Indian cricket right on top. Because this is how teams get prepared. This is how the players get prepared. Not just the batsmen on how to play this kind of on this kind of a pitch, but also for the bowlers to bowl, to know what the length they should be bowling. A lot of times when there's a lot of bounce and carry, fast bowlers in particular get carried away. Now, Indian fast bowler not getting such pitches back at home, by start banging the ball, which will actually go for four byes or maybe or no balls because of the height. So they've got to bowl the length, which will make it awkward for the batsman. So having come here and practiced here, played a couple of matches against the West Australian team, which was a very good team, was very good thinking. And importantly, again, coming 18 days before the tournament starts. Your body clock when you come to Australia and New Zealand takes 3-4 days for the body clock to get used to it. I think this was really smart on the part of the management as well as the BCCI.
Okay, I've got fans, as I was mentioning earlier. Earlier, we spoke to fans that are local here in Perth, but Indian fans. But people have traveled all the way from India to कहाँ से आए हैं?
हम आए महाराष्ट्र से, चंद्रपुर से, भद्रावती से. मेरा नाम है विकास डम्बारे.
तो इतने
देखने के लिए आया हूँ.
तो इतने बड़े फैन है आपने इंडिया से टिकट निकाला?
हम लोग आए नागपुर से और स्पेशली मैच के लिए आए ऑस्ट्रेलिया. मैं भी चंद्रपुर डिस्ट्रिक्ट महाराष्ट्र नागपुर से आया हुआ स्पेशली मैच देखने.
फेवरेट प्लेयर कौन है?
विराट कोहली. नाम में ही विराट है, उसका क्या कहना.
रन कौन बनाने वाला आज?
रन बनाएगा, कौन बनाएगा? विराट.
अच्छा, डर नहीं लगता साउथ अफ्रीका के फास्ट बॉलर्स कुछ विकेट में?
भारत में आता बच्चा को लगना चाहिए, डर उनको लगना चाहिए बेस्ट बैटिंग लाइनअप से, इंडिया को नहीं.
तो ठीक है, इंडिया के भी बॉलर्स है, फास्ट बॉलर्स है। सामी सबकी उड़ा देगा, सामी जीतेगा,
इंडिया ही जीतेगा,
जीतेगा इंडिया जीतेगा। Who are you going to support? Any favorite player?
Virat Kohli.
Yeah, I mean that's one name that is common. Sure. Oh, let me see. Oh, go ahead. Okay, Virat Kohli jersey. Okay, all the best. Enjoy the game. Thank you. Thank you so much. So there's no dearth of Indian supporters. People have come from India. Big Harshal Patel fans as well. Rohit Sharma fans. Kohli. Okay, Sai bhai, as I was asking you earlier, we saw conditions in Melbourne. They were also tough conditions for the Indian batsmen to handle. From Melbourne to Perth, different conditions. How do you think the Indian batsmen are going to go? Do you think this extra bounce, this good bounce that you get may suit Indian batsmen, and maybe the toughest condition that they faced was in Melbourne?
Well, in terms of the pitches, we'll just have to wait and see how the bounce is. I don't know from here about the pitch, whether there's a lot of grass or whatever it is. But look at the circumstances in which the Indians chased the total. The circumstances were not easy. India had lost wickets for not too many. Then to come back the way they did and to score the runs that they did, again leading 48 runs in 3 overs, and then to win from there off the last ball. And that shows the kind of character that this team has, that the kind of desire that this team has developed, and the kind of discipline that is also needed to make sure that whatever the circumstances, the belief will always be there.
Okay, Pragyan Ojha is still with us. Pragyan had asked this question earlier to Sunny Bhai, and he had said that he's giving that slight edge to the Indian team. What do you make of it? Because there are a lot of analysts here who feel that these are just home conditions for South Africa. They will feel at home, not quite for the Indian team. Who do you think has the edge in this encounter?
See, first of all, if you look at Perth, out of 21 games, 13 have been won batting first. And the most important thing is how well you start. I have said this against Pakistan. The bowling attack was good. So how you play those first 3 or 4 overs, that will set the tone. And saying that it is no different. You have to win the toss if you look at the record and do what normally teams do on a particular venue. Saying that, but the start is very important. How well you start, how solid you look, that is very important. So first 3 or 4 overs when we are batting, and the same when we are bowling, that will set the tone for the entire game.
All right, Pragyan Ojha, Harbhajan Singh, Sunny Gavaskar, stay on with us. Plenty to talk about ahead of that India-South Africa encounter. We're coming to you live from right outside the Optus Stadium in Perth. For the moment, we'll take a short little break, but don't go anywhere. Plenty more on the other side.
And so, after that update from Nikhil, there is a breaking news development even here.
Pakistan have finally won the game against
Pakistan have won by 6 wickets against Netherlands in their chase of not 191, in their chase of 92.
91.
So in Pakistan, I mean, what can we say? If they had to chase down 92 in about 10 or 12 overs to boost their net run rate, and
they
keep
did it in
themselves
13.5.
13.5 overs, and very, very sorry batting card for the Netherlands. Strike rate of 100, that was the highest from Colin Ackerman and Van Meekeren. Bas de Leed got hit on the helmet side grill, and that's why he suffered a gash in his eye. I hope he's fine in that. Mohammad Rizwan, career strike rate was almost the same, 125 strike rate, 49 of 39 balls. Fakhar Zaman, 20 of 16. Shan Masood, 12 of 16, but 2 wickets to Brandon Glover, 1 to Van Meekeren, and Babar Azam run out 4 of 5. His woeful run in the World Cup continues.
But you could argue even before that, even in the Asia Cup, he wasn't exactly going great guns.
He wasn't going great guns, yep. So, Pakistan have won. That might have significantly improved their net run rate a bit. I mean, minus 0.05 was it? Now it may improve to plus 0.5. Missed opportunity, I feel, because they should have had more intent to chase this total down. So, Pakistan, breaking news, have won a T20 international in Australia for the first time ever. 6 matches prior to this, they had lost 5, One was a no result, and today, finally, after 12 years of trying in Australia, they have finally managed to win a T20 match. Congratulations to Pakistan. Massive effort. Now we turn our attention to India versus South Africa. And I like to see two very trailblazing former cricketers in the host broadcaster that they have shown. Krishnamachari Srikanth, you may say,
He was ahead of his time.
a maverick Tamilian just like me, and Dale Steyn, of course, maverick and bindas. And Dale Steyn, what a fine bowler he was. One of the greatest.
Loved watching him play.
Yep. Kohli is on the cusp of a new record, by the way. For people who are joining us, Kohli, if he scores 28 more runs today, he will be the leading run getter in T20 World Cups, overtaking Mahela Jayawardene's 1016.
Correct.
Can you look at some of the comments, Anurag? I saw some comments there. I just want to see that. Okay, Aditya Kavlekar is like saying, if India loses today, even by mistake, neighbors will cry that we lost. Come on, Aditya, that's not happening. Go up a bit. I saw somewhere that India are playing with 11 batsmen and South Africa are playing with 10. That's harsh. You can't. I know where the criticism is coming from, but that's harsh. What if that lack of batsmen hurt India today? You'll have to eat humble pie. Always respect opponents. That's what I would like to say to the Indian cricket team members and the fans, especially the fans. Respect every opponent. Only by that you can get recognition. Otherwise, you are like any other ultra that plagues all these clubs in that sense. A left-arm spinner is useless today. What do you reckon? Hooda for Axar? No changes.
No, especially considering I don't think the team management has that much faith in the bowling of Deepak Hooda in the shortest format of the game. So yeah, probably not happening.
Not happening, yes.
Plus, remember with Axar, he's legit the only left-hander you have right now in terms of the batting. So even if he doesn't bowl too much, he might bowl a couple of overs in the middle.
Yep.
He will be useful in the batting. In fact, if you'd remember that, he had revealed recently that the team management had told him that you'll have to float up and down the order. So be ready for that.
Yep.
So I think he's definitely playing.
Yeah, we don't have, we have dearth of airport announcers and station announcers in our chat. So about Bavuma, one is going on like a station announcer. So
saying that Bavuma will score a century today, mark my words. You know what? I can't take your name because it's taking the name of a company. But if it actually does manage to happen, you know what? I'll take your real name, not that name. So let us know what your real name is and I'll give you a special shout out whenever,
And Nikhil is joining us back live.
Yes.
Welcome back to our special broadcast, Battle of Champions. We're building up to India's third game at the T20 World Cup. Can India make it 3 out of 3? They've had a dream start to this tournament, but this one is going to be the big one. A dangerous team in South Africa. For that, the Indian batting will have to stand up because they've got a tough task of facing some really quick South African batsmen. And everyone's talking about Virat Kohli. Everyone's talking about Rohit Sharma, but I tell you one other Indian batsman who's quietly moving up the popularity charts because the way he's been batting in the last 6-8 months or so. His name is Surya Kumar Yadav, and Surya Kumar Yadav shared his thoughts during this tournament and what is his secret to the way he has been batting and the way he has been dominating bowling attacks across the globe.
सूर्य जब आप बैटिंग करने गए तो टीम का नेट
All right, so yes, we are just cutting back live here, and fault lines has a very, very interesting theory that you got. Pakistan formula is simple: win remaining 2 matches and hope India win today, they qualify. Actually, no. What will happen is the Pakistan-South Africa match then assumes tremendous importance.
Correct.
If South Africa lose today, then it opens up the door for Pakistan. But if South Africa win today, their chances take a big hit. Because Zimbabwe today could have done it by beating Bangladesh, but they lost by 3 runs. So their chances have taken a big hit now. But South Africa can spoil the entire party today. Vijay Shangar saying, but SA have 3 main lefties and Riley, Decock and Miller. Axar the bowler isn't required. But again, as Shane pointed out, you need a left-handed batter. Otherwise, primarily, your batting becomes very, very unidimensional. And you need some kind of variety in that. Raj, our Indian mentality towards Pakistan awful. We are commentators on these. Parks are down, but they know only one way to reach semis to win 3 and RSA loses to end. No issue of NRR. Okay, fine. Indian mentality towards Pakistan is awful, but then it's not that awful in the sense that we have not written them off. I never wrote Pakistan off even after 2. Yes, their chances are pretty bad. But now, let's just see what the net run rate situation is. And today, one more special Indian player is making a debut. Yes, a women legend is going to be behind commentary today, and we wish her all the best for that. Mithali Doraisamy Raj, MD Raj, one of the greatest in the history of women's cricket.
Yeah, and Kupa Kronk, I'd love to know what your real name is. Still think it'll be SA and India in the semis. Yeah, it seems likely there's going to be these teams because again, with Pakistan right now, they could win all their next 3 games also and still not be guaranteed, because that's the thing. If you've lost your first 2 games, remember what it was like last year for India. They lost their first 2, then went on to win 3 thereafter, but it didn't really matter.
Yes.
Because you need other results to go your way as well. So it's not just a case of, winning all your 3 matches, and that's why you like having your destiny in your own hands.
Absolutely.
Because it's better that you know what you have to do and you're not reliant on outside stuff. It's like, I'll give you, I think the best example I can give you in recent times is it comes from another sport. So Barcelona were in major trouble when it came to qualifying for the second round of the Champions League.
Was this 2009?
No, this is this year only. This year when they got knocked out of the group stage.
By the way, Pakistan's net run rate is
इंडिया रन कौन बनाएगा? कोहली, ऑलवेज कोहली।
कोहली किंग है, किंग, कोई मुकाबला नहीं है, किंग रहेगा।
सर जी, जीत हार चलती है, we are going to enjoy today.
That sums it up really well. They're going to enjoy. But Sunny Gavaskar, Pragyan Ojha still with us. Saiva, let me ask you, in terms of, we're saying Perth, it's a bouncy track, it's going to help fast bowlers. But I was taking a look at the last few matches, and in those games, what have you got? He's got King Kohli, okay, wants to show King Kohli here. Everyone is a King Kohli fan. But Saiva, coming back to the question that I was asking you, we've seen spinners do well. Shadab did well in both the games. Sikandar Raza done really well. You reckon it's going to be a catch-22 situation, picking between a fast bowler and 2 spinners for India? Who would you want the Indian team to go for?
I think pace has worked for India, as well as Ashwin bowling well. So I don't think there should be too many changes. I do believe, like I've said over the last couple of days, that against a very good bowling lineup, maybe you need to get 1 extra batsman in. And hopefully the management will have a look at it, have a look at the pitch. They'll probably also have the advantage of seeing the match earlier on between Pakistan and Netherlands. That will give them an idea of what the pitch is doing. And accordingly, they might be able to finalize the number, the 11th man in the team.
Okay. Indian team change karegi kuch aaj?
No.
We should go with extra batsmen.
No
Extra batsman.
No need. I want Rishabh to play, but no need.
Same squad as Pakistan.
Same squad.
Same.
Majority are same squad. Pragyan, I know that you said that India should probably look at a fast bowler, but you have to stick for your spinners, the spinners club. The spinners have been doing well. Shadab just now in the game before this picked up a few wickets. Sikandar Raza was the man of the match. What should the Indian team do?
I think, yes, the spinners have bowled well here. But when you talk about Shadab, he was bowling against a team which has less experience. At the same time, you have to look at who you're playing against. It's South Africa. And when you're talking about South Africa, they've got a very good bowling lineup. Saying that, what I hear is Deepak Hooda is having a long net session in the outdoor nets. And Markram is bowling a lot. Maybe we'll see some changes. That's what I'm getting a feeling. Saying that, yes, I would love to have a spinner. As a spinner, I would see and I would want any spinner to play. But you also have to understand that this is T20 format, and also you have to see who your opponents are and what their strengths and weaknesses are. And if you have any backup who can actually fight it out for you, that is what is very important.
Okay, Pragyan, we'll get back to you. Plenty to talk about. The toss isn't too far away from where we stand. Just about a few minutes to go for that all-important toss. What is it that the Indian team is going to do if they win the toss? Or if South Africa win, are they going to force the Indian team to bat first? Because we've seen in the past that they like to chase. All those updates about the playing 11, about the toss coming up on the other side. So don't go anywhere. Stick to Battle of Champions on India Today.
Okay, so before we get to your interesting story on the Champions League, thanks Vijay Shankar, big fan indeed. Thank you so much. And LG Home's name is Ashwin.
Yeah.
So let's keep that in mind.
We'll keep that in mind if Bavuma gets a century.
Aditya Mohanty is like asking, I'll just before you come back, why was the Optus Stadium built if they had Waka? I was in awe of the Waka. Always love to read about its history. It's sad it doesn't host international matches anymore. And what is a drop in and drop out? Okay, Aditya Mohanty, you go to my video that I did on the ground realities of Perth. In that I have mentioned capacity and facilities for the fans were the simple reason why the Waka was discarded. Waka's capacity was only 24,000, but most of it was open. So in the afternoon blazing sun, fans were really uncomfortable. Optus has a capacity of 61,000. Better food facilities, better facilities for the fans. And what is a drop in and drop out wicket? Okay, Waka is a proper cricket wicket because you only play cricket there. A drop in wicket is a baked wicket that is prepared much in advance. You just have to transport it from one venue to the other and drop it in that playing area. It's a baked wicket with exactly the same dimensions as a cricket wicket.
That's done because more often than not, a lot of grounds in Australia they'll use these grounds for multiple sports. So whether it be AFL, whether it be football, rugby, all of these sports will be happening in the same venue. So what happens is, so if it's only a cricket ground, then that one pitch or the number of pitches you have over there prevents anything else from happening. With a drop in, however, you can literally just cover that part and you can have other sporting activities take place as normal.
Yes, remember, cricket is the only summer sport that they play actively in Australia. Rest of the times, be it from April to September, you play AFL, rugby, those are the winter sports. Aditya Mohanty, they could have renovated, but no.
It would have cost them more money.
The renovation plan actually fell by the wayside because they had plans to revamp it in 1987. But because of the economic crisis that happened in 1987, there were further attempts by the Western Australian government to ensure that the Waka could be rebuilt and facilities could be improved. But one roadblock or one stumbling block or the other came up, and unfortunately the Waka had to be discarded into obscurity.
But again, this is not a very uncommon thing when it if you look at history. More often than not, many older venues which don't have much capacity or which people try to kind of they improve the capacity or whatever. It's sometimes easier said than done. I'll give you a very prominent example. Manchester United. Old Trafford is one ground that they can actually improve the, not just the facilities in the ground, but also the capacity.
Yes.
It's 80 odd K, but they can actually make it bigger because they legit can sell out those many tickets. One of the main reasons they are struggling to do that, or they have struggled to do that over the years, is because the railway line runs just parallel to the stadium.
Correct.
So,
yep, you're right.
Actually extending the ground
would
require a lot of permission. And to be fair, they are still trying to do that. But the amount of red tapeism that comes in there, it makes it a problematic
There are a lot
thing.
of infrastructure issues. It could be a dangerous infrastructure enhancement also. Same, I think, I remember once I had gone to Ibrox. I guess that's the right term. Ibrox Rangers. Earlier, they had a terracing, an oval terracing, and that's why you could have a capacity of 90K. But with the revamped stadium structure now, it is 70,000.
Yeah, that's also because post I think it was Hazel, or any other disasters that took place, even Hillsborough. UK has pretty much abandoned standing in stadiums. Although to be fair, there have been a lot of calls in recent times to bring back safe terrace standing in this thing that it improves capacity, cheaper tickets, and also atmosphere, because you generate a better atmosphere with fans standing and chanting. That is something that there has been talk about bringing back, but it won't happen.
Tossing up there.
Well, welcome back to Battle of Champions, coming to you live from the Optus Stadium in Perth. And You heard from the Indian fans, plenty of Indian fans. It's going to be a packed house there. But I found a rare Pakistani fan. That's because he is going to be watching the India match. He's already seen Pakistan win. Why would you be watching the India match? Give us the reason.
I want to see a good match of cricket. I think both teams are evenly poised, and they are they're topping the group, both of them.
Come to the real reason. You're going to be cheering for India today, aren't you?
Deep down inside, of course, I would want Pakistan to reach the semis and finals. So for that, yes. But if it doesn't happen, it's fine. I'm here to watch a good game of cricket.
So, you know, they say lady luck always helps. You'll have to send some luck India's way, because if India win, then Pakistan stay in control.
Anything that takes Pakistan to the semis, I'm in for it.
All right. Thank you so much, guys. You already have seen your team win. So have a good game. Watch India play and keep your fingers and your toes, everything crossed. Maybe that will help India win, because it's going to be a tough encounter for India as well. These two fans from Pakistan have enjoyed that particular match. But as you know, not just them, the entire Pakistan is going to be praying for an India win, because only if India win do Pakistan also stay alive in the tournament. Sunny Gavaskar, Pragyan Oja also live with us on the program. Sunny bhai, what do you think India should do as far as the toss is concerned? You know, we know that chasing is something that suits the Indian team. They've done two very different things. In Melbourne, they were chasing versus Pakistan. Against Netherlands, they chose to bat first. What do you reckon, based on the conditions, based on the opposition, India should do?
I think India chase much better than they defend. So my thinking is that they should be looking to chase. Also, because in case it does rain, in case it comes down to the Duckworth Lewis system, you know what is the target that you have.
Okay, Pragyan, Sunny bhai says that India chase well, so they should be chasing. I know earlier in the program, you had a stat about this particular stadium. Teams that have batted first have one more encounter. Do you still stick to that opinion, bat first for India?
See, it depends on the team, what they want to do, what they think their strength is. But when you go to a venue, you also have to look at what are the dynamics, or what is the percentage that gives you a better chance to do well. And when you look at that, I strongly feel that if in 21 games, 13 games have been won batting first after winning the toss, so I think that is a pattern. So that is also what India needs to consider, or maybe, matter of fact, South Africa will consider. But as I said, also team at times they think, even if there are a little bit of odds, they go with their strength. So it will be totally what India is comfortable at. But for me, I definitely consider what actually happens on a particular venue, because these stats really help you do well.
Okay, we've got breaking news coming in. We were talking about what the Indian team should do if they were to win the toss. The good news is that they won the toss. So after the first two encounters against Pakistan, Rohit Sharma won the toss. Against the Netherlands, Rohit Sharma won the toss for the second time. And Lady Luck is still smiling, because for the third time in a row, India have won the toss. And it's not what they did against Pakistan. It's what they've done against Netherlands. They've decided to repeat that. That means India has won the toss and will be batting first. Pragyan, looks like the Indian team heard you. They are batting first. They may have also looked at those stats that you pointed out.
Absolutely. You know, whenever you go to any particular venue, or you're traveling abroad, or anything that you're trying to do, nowadays, the analysts are very important. They also play a very, very crucial part in your planning. And saying that, these analysts, they give you those important stats, like exactly what happens if a team wins the toss, or maybe, after 2 or 3 sessions, what happens in a particular venue. If the breeze is blowing from one end to the other, what happens? If the breeze changes, what happens? So these are the minute details what this analyst they give you. And these are the things which really help you plan better. And I'm really, really in for it. When you know your skills are good, only thing that can enhance you is all these small little changes that you can do to better your chances to win the game. And I'm absolutely glad that Rohit Sharma went through all this and saw that what would help him enhance his team's performance more, and he won the toss and chose to bat first.
Okay, we'll quickly update the playing 11 for you. India have won the toss and have decided to bat first. There is going to be a few changes in the Indian team. I see that Axar Patel is a substitute. That means he's one player that has gone out of the playing 11. So this is the Indian team, which is Rohit Sharma, KL Rahul, the two openers, Virat Kohli at number 3, Surya Kumar is number 4, Deepak Hooda at number 5. Then you've got Hardik Pandya at number 6. Of course, this is not the batting order. I'm just letting you know about the team. Then you've got Dinesh Karthik, Ravi Chandran Ashwin at number 8, Bhuvneshwar Kumar 9, Mohammad Shami at number 10, and then Arshdeep in at number 11. So one change that India has made to the playing 11 that we saw last time around, they've decided to take out and Axar Patel, and in comes Deepak Hooda. Pragyan, to you, I know that you were also talking about maybe looking at a fast bowler. They've not done that. Instead, they've strengthened their batting. What could be the reason that they've gone for a Deepak Hooda, you reckon?
I think it's because the openers, especially KL Rahul, has not got enough runs. So maybe they're trying to have one more batsman. Same if you look at the cases with South Africa, both the teams have enjoyed the strength of their middle order. So maybe that is the reason why they're trying to strengthen their middle order. And the best part is you get in a Deepak Hooda, you have a offie who can give you those 1 or 2 overs. And then if you look at South Africa team, they have quite a bit left-handers. So maybe that was the thinking where they thought that we could get Deepak Hooda in place of Axar Patel, where he can offer you some office and also give you depth in batting. I was only saying fast bowling, that can be an option only when you have an all-rounder who can bat and then give you those 3 or 4 overs. But I think we already have Hardik Pandya, and I really think that this is a great decision by the team management getting Deepak Hooda in, who can give you that balance. He can be your 6th bowler and also bat up the order.
Rakesh Bhan from ISWA.
Okay. Nobody heard you before that. Now they'll be able to hear you only when I ask you a question because you were not live. Okay. Plenty of fans just coming in. You'll have to come behind. क्या expect कर रहे हैं भैया
आज हम विराट कोहली की सेंचुरी मिस कर रहे हैं. जो विराट कोहली ने सेंचुरी पहले मारी थी, आज हम चाहते हैं आज पर्थ के स्टेडियम में आज विराट कोहली अपनी पर्थ की स्टेडियम में जाके जहाँ पे फास्ट पिचेस हैं, आज विराट कोहली का असली हमारा टेस्ट होगा और अब बताएगा.
इंडिया बैटिंग कर रही है पहले. You like that decision?
Yeah, sure, because people have already played. The first game has already been done. So pitch is very ready for the next lot. And I would say it will turn out very good for India.
Okay, Deepak Hooda has come in place of Axar Patel.
Yeah.
Good call.
अच्छा डिसीजन रहा है. और हमारा ये माना कि आज अगर केएल राहुल ओपनिंग कर रहे हैं रोहित शर्मा के साथ, तो आज हम उनकी पक्का फॉर्म देखना चाहेंगे. ही इज अ बेस्ट प्लेयर, बट हम चाहते हैं कि वो थोड़ा सा अच्छा करें ताकि हमें भी लगे कि भाई हाँ ठीक है, आज हर एक प्लेयर अपना एफर्ट कर रहा है.
बिल्कुल ये बहुत अच्छा डिसीजन लिया है जो हुडा जी को बीच में डाला है. इज अ वेरी गुड प्लेयर और ये जो डिसीजन है ये जरूर कामयाब होगा.
Okay, so you heard it from the fans. They're very happy. Also happy to watch Indian team back first.
Yes. Are we happy?
Okay.
Yes.
Once again, India will win this match definitely.
And from Indian Society of Western Australia, which is the largest Indian representation body here in WA, we thank everyone here and who have come to witness this great match in PERTH Stadium.
Okay, all the best. Enjoy. Thank you.
एक पिक्चर नहीं आपके साथ.
Picture आपके साथ मैं लूंगा. I'm just live on TV. Give me 2 minutes. Okay, so that is it. You heard from the fans here. Very, very happy, excited. They want the Indian team. I've you know what? I have found. I was going to come back to you, Pragyan, but I've finally found some South African supporters. I'm trying to get them.
I'm South African supporter.
What do you reckon is going to happen?
India's going to get smoked.
Okay. You think
South Africa is going to smoke India.
Okay.
You see after us, they're going to team. India's team is going to sit like that. Smoke India.
Okay. So they're very buoyant. they are hoping that the South African team does well. They're saying that they have the confidence in their fast bowling and they'll end up doing well as well. Pragyan, what do you think will be the challenges now that the Indian batsman would be out? One, we know that they've got some tall fast bowlers. We know from here, from good length, the ball really rises. We've seen a few Indian batsmen, including Surya Kumar, Hardik, whenever the ball is there, targeted at the chest, they've succumbed to it. What would be the challenges that you think will that the Indian team would have to face?
I think how well we set the base. It will be very important because the openers, they have to play those first 3 overs, and how they give that foundation to the team is very crucial. And after that, I'm sure someone like Surya Kumar Yadav, Virat is obviously there, then Hardik, then Deepak Hooda, they will improvise on what the foundation has been laid. So that will be very crucial. Saying that, again, I would say for Indian team, the bounce can be tough, but challenging will be how well the ball moves or deviates off the wicket. That will be challenging, and that is what I think both the teams should be looking to do, because bounce is something good. It can excite you, but you'll only get wickets when the ball moves in the air or off the wicket, it deviates.
All right, Sunny Gavaskar also still with us and Harbhajan Singh as well. Sunny bhai, I wanted to ask you the same question I asked Pragyan. How is it that you deal with that bounce? How do you think that the Indian openers, they've been a bit under the pressure. How do you think they should approach this particular encounter, and how do you deal with that extra bounce?
Well, I think every batsman is going to be crucial. If the openers give you a good start in the first 6 overs, even if they get you to about 50 for no loss or 50 for 1 wicket, that's a very, very good platform to get another 120, 130 runs. But again, we've seen here at Perth, 160, 170 seems to be the average total. So if India get to that, then they'll be able to defend it. But all the batsmen, absolutely all the batsmen are crucial. Obviously, the kind of form that Kohli is in, and as well as the kind of batting we've seen from Surya Kumar Yadav, they will. Maybe the driving will probably not be seen as often because that length will be such where the Indians, not naturally very, very tall, might not be able to drive through the line. The ball might hit more towards the manufacturer's name rather than the middle of the bat. But they've got to look for the horizontal bat shots, the square cuts and the pulls, maybe the flicks. Use the pace of the bowler to score the runs, maybe square of the wicket.
Okay, Pragyan Ojha also with us. Pragyan, one batsman from the South African squad that's been doing very well. His name is Riley Russo. Got that 100 versus India. He's on red hot form. Got 100 again versus Bangladesh. He's going to be very crucial. Unknown quantity in that extent because you haven't played a lot against him. What do you think should be India's strategy? How do you curtail the free-flowing Riley Russo at the moment?
Yeah, absolutely. You're spot on. I think every time South Africa was in trouble, it is their middle order who really built those innings and got those crucial runs for their team. And that is what I think Indian team will be sharply looking at. I know if they get an early breakthrough, they will be happy, but they will get happier when they break that middle order, because their middle order, Riley Russo, then Markram, then they have David Miller. So these are the guys who have been consistently doing well. And if you look at the track record, over 10 or 15 games, most of their middle order have got those 100 runs or maybe 90 plus runs partnership. That is where Indian team would look to make a difference by picking those wickets, not letting them get those partnership going. And that is the reason I said it will be very crucial when you talk about South African middle order, how well we bowl in those middle overs, like, from 6 to 15. That also will be very crucial. That's when I would like to see how Ashwin bowls, because he is our premium bowler. He's there in the team because he can pick wickets, and that is what I would like him to continue to do. Once he picks wickets, it will make a lot of difference because we have enough bowlers who can be economical, and Deepak Hooda can be a bowler who can bowl those tight 1 or 2 overs, not looking to go for wickets, can be economical. But for Ashwin, he should be little brave and look to attack and look to pick wickets rather than being economical. That is what his mindset should be.
Okay, Sai Bhai, Riley Russo, Pragyan explains it very well. What could be the strategy going forward, how to deal with the man in form? What do you think the Indian team needs to do against that dangerous batsman called Riley Russo?
Well, I would like to maybe see Ashwin bowl to him because what Ashwin can do is Ashwin can deceive the batsman into thinking the ball is going to turn. And if Russo hasn't gone fully forward, you can get him out LBW with the ball coming in. Ashwin also bowls a very good floater where you can see that he's actually held the ball with the seam up. And when the ball is released, it comes like a little in-swinger to the left-hander. And that can be a wicket-taking ball.
Harbhajan, we were talking about, and Pragyan was explaining very well of how to deal with the South African pace bowlers. They've got the one thing that works in their favor. Not only do they have pace, they've got that extra height from which they extract the bounce. How does the Indian batting lineup deal with them?
No, it's not a matter of concern. It's a big challenge. I would say that, India playing probably the toughest bowling lineup, that too in Perth, which is fast and furious kind of a wicket. Not many batsmen like facing fast bowlers in Perth. And yes, there will be a great challenge for all the batters who's going to bat in the middle against Rabada, Nokia, Lungi, and whosoever, they play. So this is an opportunity for them to do something really special for their team, and I hope KL will come good today. This is what I feel, that KL is going to score runs today, and Surya Kumar Yadav, Surya is going to shine again.
Harbhajan, finally, before we let you go, the role of spinners could be crucial here. We're talking about the fast bowlers. India have excluded Axar Patel. He goes out. But for all you know, Deepak Hooda may be asked to bowl a bit of spin. The role of spinner in this particular track also cannot be understated.
Well, I've just finished watching game India versus Netherlands. Shadab bowled pretty well on this track. He got
But you have Pakistan versus Netherlands.
Yeah, I just finished watching this game, Pakistan versus Netherlands, where Shadab bowled really well on such track. He exactly showed how to bowl spin bowling. And this wicket have a lot of bounce. You have to get the line and your length right on such wicket. Otherwise, you can go for plenty of runs. And knowing Ashwin is a very smart bowler, he will adjust to these conditions and bowl well against those left-handers of South Africans. So I hope he'll come good and pick few wickets for Team India.
All right, Harbhajan Singh, thanks so much for joining us, and thanks a lot to Sunny Gavaskar as well for joining us ahead of that big India versus South Africa game. Pragyan Oja, stay with us. Plenty more to talk to you about. But meanwhile, India is going to be out batting very shortly, and all eyes, you heard from the fans that I was chatting up with, all of them have come to watch Virat Kohli bat. He's been the man in form, and guess what? He's got a huge fan following, not just amongst Indian fans, but even amongst Australians. I caught up with an Australian journalist who claims to be the biggest Virat Kohli fan, and at the moment she's just loving the form that Virat has found himself in. With me is Chloe, and of course the media fraternity might know Chloe as a journalist, but she is or she claims she is the biggest Virat Kohli fan in the world. Is that correct?
I didn't say in the world, but I think I'm one of the biggest in Australia. And one of the things I've always loved is that he got his maiden Test century here in Adelaide. And I kind of feel like Australia, because Australians love Virat Kohli, right? He's the king. Every time he comes to town, it's all over the newspapers, the king, the king. I kind of feel like we own that little part of Virat.
Oh, yes, you do. I know Australians love him. Okay. And Chloe knows a bit of Hindi. She watches a lot of Bollywood films, and she loves Indian food. So now here's a tough question. I know your favorite dish is samosa. Samosa Virat or Virat?
Watch Virat play cricket every day over samosa. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. I know Shah Rukh Khan is the one hero that you admire. Shah Rukh Khan or Virat Kohli?
Virat Kohli, obviously.
Oh my
I
God.
love cricket, yeah. The best.
Okay. If there was a choice between Australia playing and India playing, would you still be rooting for Virat Kohli?
People always ask, Australia, if Australia plays India, who are you going for? And I say Australia and Virat Kohli.
Oh, so you want a Virat 100 and Australia to win? Is that correct?
Yeah, but it's just like if India wins against Australia, I can't be mad because Virat's in the team.
Okay, quick.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does. I get from a lot of Pakistan fans as well. Okay, quiz for you, Virat Kohli quiz.
No.
Let me see how big a fan you are. Okay, he made.
Good with stats.
Okay, not stats, but let's see how many things you remember. His
Favorite food?
what is his favorite food?
It's my namesake, Chole Bhature.
That is correct. That was going to be one of my questions. You're Chloe, that's Chole, but the smelling is the same.
Knows me as Chole.
Okay. He made his ODI debut in 2008 and he opened the innings. Would you know who his opening partner was at the time?
In 2008.
I'll give you an option.
I was a child.
Okay. I'll give you an option.
Okay.
Virendra Sehwag, Gautam Gambhir, Sachin Tendulkar.
I don't think it was Sachin.
It wasn't.
Who were the other options?
Sehwag and Gambhir.
Probably Gambhir.
There, you got it. He was.
I'm trying to
You're good.
go through my brain.
You're good. Okay, his start of the ODI World Cup started on a great note. He got 100. Would you know the opposition?
No.
It was Bangladesh.
Oh. I'm not good with remembering stats.
Okay, your favorite Virat Kohli. That's not a stat.
Well, I always say his maiden test century because I feel like we own that. I love his obviously 82 not out that he just played. And I also love his Mohali 82 not out.
Okay, finally, before I let you go, I know your Hindi is pretty good. So say something to Virat in Hindi.
मेरा हिंदी थोड़ा weak है.
थोड़ा weak है?
Yeah.
और मैं आपकी सबसे बड़ी fan हूँ.
मैं आपकी सबसे बड़ी fan हूँ.
There you go. I'll try my best if Virat Kohli can. Have you ever met him?
No. I've seen him at press conferences.
Maybe this video will give you that opportunity. But Chloe, thank you so much for being a sport and speaking to us. All the best.
Thank you.
Okay, Pragyan Oja still with us. Pragyan, everywhere I go in Australia, whether they're Indian fans, whether they're Australian fans, I only hear one thing, and that is Virat Kohli. He's got a massive fan following. How do you see Virat's role in this game? He's been not out till now. In both games, he remained not out. So the man hasn't even been dismissed even once in this tournament. You reckon once again he's going to play the role of being the fulcrum and, the anchor man and around which the Indian inning is going to revolve?
I think he'll be versatile. He's a very, very experienced campaigner and he knows exactly what is expected out of him. And to say that we will see him anchor the team whenever it's needed. And also we'll see his the other avatar that I would say that what we saw against Pakistan. So for that, he has to be there on the ground and spend more time because you want your informed batsman to be there playing more deliveries and spending more time there. It doesn't only help him get those runs, but also it really inspires the other guy who is playing along with him. So that is the reason I say Virat is very versatile and very crucial for this Indian team because he can change those gears and he can bat according to the situation. He can absorb those pressure and try and take the team out of it. After that, he can also look to dominate. So for that, only thing I would expect is he's spending more and more time in the middle in the 22 yards.
Okay, he has to spend more and more time in the middle. I've got a few Indian fans. Okay, confident India will do well today?
Definitely India will win. And I think it will be an easy win for India today. Yeah.
Is she the youngest fan in the stadium?
Yeah.
Does she watch cricket?
No.
She doesn't.
No, but is she glued? Like I have a young daughter. She gets glued to TV when she sees cricket. Okay, who have you guys come to watch? Come this side. I can't.
It's a very, very easy question to ask.
Tell me anybody other than Virat Kohli.
Arshdeep.
Arshdeep.
I hope he takes 5 wickets today.
You hope he takes 5 wickets. Okay. Let me get another fan in here. What do you reckon is going to happen? Good call playing Deepak Hooda.
I think good call. He can bowl as well. I think we might need few overs from him because Axar Patel is not playing. So it will be handy to bowl few overs from him. And I think pretty good with the batting as well. You get one extra batter who can bat, hitting good sixes and come at the end with Dinesh Karthik maybe, get a few sixes. So
Okay, I've got an interesting set of supporters here. Not just Virat Kohli. They've got a poster of MS Dhoni, huh? You miss it.
Yeah, I really miss MS Dhoni because right now the situation of India is like they are missing the finisher. They are missing a great captainship, which only Dhoni can do behind the stumps, making some changes, some bowling changes, and finishing off in style. The last World Cup 2011, that 6, it was like a dream come true.
All right, you never know. There could be another champion captain that might just emerge in this tournament. Dhoni, yes, got us all the trophies. That's why the fans miss him. But thank you so much for your time. Enjoy a good game. I'm afraid that's all the time that we have on this special program. Fans are going to be heading into the stadium. So am I. Thank you, Pragyan, for your company and building up this particular game. It's going to be seen. This excitement. This is the excitement that we will witness in the stadium. For the moment, this is Nikhil Nas signing off. You're watching Battle of Champions on India Today. We'll see you at the end of the match. We'll have all the analysis. So join us then. For the moment, bye-bye.
Update from Nikhil.
Yeah, lots of good, interesting stuff coming in there. Nice to see the fans in full voice, by the way.
It's anywhere you go in the globe, you are never
Indians
far away from our kin, if you may say, because be it in the farthest corners of Alaska or even the southernmost tip of New Zealand and Dunedin, you'll find Indians, and that's why we are so. We are a universal community in more ways than one. So, big update is that Deepak Hooda is in for Axar, and that means no left-hander in the team.
Absolutely, that's a very
Arshdeep bats.
Arshdeep bats left, but he bats at number
11.
Yeah.
Number 11. So that is why it's like really. Aditya was like saying, how do you get Aditya Mohanty is like saying, how do you get the pitch? How do you transport the pitch? Simple. You transport it on a particular vehicle, you make it near the stadium or somewhere there, and that's how it happens. So that's how you get those drop-in wickets fitted in on that stadium. So Deepak Hooda in, and very surprisingly, why haven't South Africa picked Marco Jansen?
But I think they're fine even without Jansen. I think the big thing which I'm going to be watching out for is how well Keshav Maharaj does, because I think they're going to be using him all 4 overs for sure. Your entire Indian batting order is right-handed. In terms of matchups, that's a dream.
It's a dream. But then I would have picked Jansen in place of Lungi Ngidi. But yeah, Ngidi does get bounce. Ngidi does get that pace factor.
And he can be skiddy sometimes.
But he leaks runs. Ngidi is no longer that X factor that you had in the death a couple of years back also.
Yeah, he's actually...
Jansen, on the other hand, can give that extra pace factor also. Because look, India are going to bowl second. So the assumption is that the pitch will only get deader and deader as the game progresses.
Which is why they're playing with, but
Two
it says a lot. No, yeah, that's what I think. I was expecting entirely that you'd go with one pacer, one extra pacer, should I say. And again, Hooda, I don't understand the Hooda conundrum, and God forbid, I really hope it doesn't happen. But if he bowls a couple of overs and gets tonked today, then people are again going to be saying, why did you not bowl him more consistently in the build-up to the World Cup?
Because
you barely bowled him.
Exactly. When you had 3 left-handers
against
in the
Pakistan, Asia
you didn't
Cup.
bowl him.
Exactly.
I think in the Sri Lanka game also, you didn't bowl him. And on top of that, you look at it, Perth traditionally has favoured left-armers. If you look at spinners, be it Bishan Bedi, be it Panesar, left-arm spinners have done well in Perth, but I think because
they have so many left-handers.
No, the Waka, because of the wind, aided that drift.
Yeah, this isn't the Waka.
This is Optus. Optus, the wind is closed, and you would want somebody turning the ball away from the likes of Quinton de Kock, Riley Rousseau, David Miller. That is how I think they have looked at it. But 2 off-spinners, and you potentially got batting till number 9. Just 10 and 11. Even Shami can tonk around. So perhaps number 10, only Arshdeep can't tonk it. 10 batsmen in addition to 2 off spinners.
Interesting.
This has really surprised me. I mean, I would have gone.
I'd love to know the logic behind it. Of course, we'll only get to know that once the match is over.
Yeah.
But yeah, let's see now India to bat.
You're going to. I could have understood with 10 batsmen if you're batting second. But you're batting.
See who's opening the bowling?
It's Wayne Parnell, as expected. Wayne Parnell will open the batting, will open the bowling, and we hope KL and Rohit do not. Which is why I think because Parnell is the only guy who can bowl some notches slower. If you had Jansen, would have been the clincher.
Absolutely.
I think South Africa have missed a trick here.
Yeah, quite
and
right.
India, I think their team combination might not come back to bite them. But I think South Africa made a big blunder by not playing Mark
the match
Jansen.
is about to start.
Yep.
Let's just
My prediction is India making 171 and India winning by 20 runs.
I say they'll make 167 and win. I don't expect this to be a high scoring encounter.
Yes. I don't. So 171 India and they are winning by 20 runs.
So I'll say 160 in fact.
160. Okay. So that is about it from the Wacker. No, it's
not actually Wacker. It's
from the
Optus and from here
and from
studio.
Here, yes. We'll be back in the mid innings and we'll also be there in the post match. Good zip first up from Wayne
That's
Parnell.
why I was joking. I was pretty sure KL was gone. Anyway.
135 kmph, 84 miles per
Not
hour.
bad. Getting some zip there.
That's called good zip. Yep. And join us for
that. Like, share, subscribe, comment, tap that bell, follow us on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. And don't forget, you want some good updates for the match? What do you download? The AajTak
mobile app, and also check out their website.
Absolutely. Thank you for joining us for this very long, pre-match live.
Yes.
We appreciate all of y'all being there with us. Join us middle of the innings after the match as well. We'll be there. And for now, goodbye and
Vanakkam.
Vanakkam.